Check. A very good evening to everyone present here. We welcome you all to Manoranjani 2024, the annual flagship Carnatic Music Festival organized by Mridangam, the Carnatic Music Club of Nairobi. Manoranjani is a celebration of Carnatic music featuring performances by prominent artists as well as students. We have an exciting array of events lined up for you for the next 2 days, from captivating concerts to engaging workshops, providing a platform for enthusiasts to share their passion for Carnatic music. The start of the grand opening holds auspicious value, and there is no better way to express our gratitude to Divine through a prayer song. I request Shweta from our club to sing this.
Mahaganapatim manasa smaravi, 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 Vashishtavamadevad Vandita Mahaganapatim manasa smaravi, Vashishtavamadevad Vandita Mahaganapatim. Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam, Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam, Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam, Mahadeva Sutam Guru Guhanutam, Marakoti Prakasham Shantam Haripriya Haripriya Moshikavahana Modaka Priyam Mahaganapatim manasa smaravi, Vasishtavamadevad Vandita Mahaganapatim.
Thank you, Shweta, for that divine performance. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the president of Manoranjani, Abhishek Chandrasekhar. Abhishek has been a beacon of leadership for the club, constantly implementing new ideas to further the reach of our club's motto. Without further ado, please welcome Abhishek onto the stage.
ஸ்ரீகுருப்யோ நமः. உலகம் யாவையும் தாம் உளவாக்கலும் நிலைப்படுத்தலும் நீக்கலும் நீங்களா அழகிலா விளையாட்டுடையார் அவர் தலைவர் அன்னவர் கேசவன் நாங்களே. A very good evening to all the audience who have gathered here, our esteemed guests of honor and chief guest, the artists who have graced the occasion, and all the audience members, lovers of music, enthusiasts who have gathered in person and virtually. My humblest welcome and heartiest thank you for joining us for Manoranjani 24, which is the annual flagship event organized by Amritavarshini, the Carnatic Music Club of NIT Trichy. I am Abhishek Chandrasekhar, President of Amritavarshini for the year 2023-24. And before we kickstart the proceedings for Manoranjani 24, I'd like to take a few minutes to briefly touch upon these two words that you'll be amply seeing a lot of during the course of this weekend. So for those of you who are not familiar, Manoranjani is going to be a 3-day festival that is going to be organized starting from today, extending to Saturday and Sunday. So we'll be having a series of workshops and concerts which we'll be speaking about shortly. But throughout the course of this weekend, you'll be seeing a lot of these two words that you see to my right. One is Amritavarshini, the name of the club itself, and second is Manoranjani, the name of the festival that we're conducting. So in a few minutes, I'd just like to tell you what these names mean and what is the significance of these two titles that you're going to be seeing a lot of. Amritavarshini is the conjunction of two Sanskrit words, Amrita and Varshini. Amrita is normally understood to be the ambrosia of immortality. People think that it's what gives you eternal life. But a little closer reading of the scriptures tells us that Amrita is nothing but a portion of anti-aging. It is something that makes the consumer look and feel a lot younger and almost stagnates the aging process or slows it down so much that it looks like they are past the confines of aging. So that is what Amrita is. Something that heals and restores your health of physical and mental well-being. What is the relevance of Amrita to music? It has been understood from time immemorial that music itself has this kind of healing power, especially classical music, and it can heal both the body and the mind parallelly. And this is not just something that has been prevalent in India. As early as 400 BC, Hippocrates, the ancient Greek father of medicine, played music for his patients' well-being. In the 13th century, hospitals in the Arab world contained music rooms for the benefit of the patients. Coming to India, ancient medical science known as Ayurveda had a special branch called Raga Chikitsa or Raga Vidya that details how music can heal a variety of ailments of the mind and of the body. And this is not just some fable I'm pulling from some history book or some Purana. As early as just in the last few decades, there have been studies in esteemed universities like John Hopkins, where they've produced findings supporting that the belief that music can provide anti-aging benefits like reduced pain, anxiety, blood pressure, and overall reducing the symptoms of aging and making you look and feel younger. So this is the foundation of the word Amrita Varshini that features in the name of our club. I just touched upon how music itself is Amrita, or that anti-aging elixir, and the word Amrita Varshini then refers to a shower or a varsha of Amrita, which is a downpour of the elixir that yields life and longevity. So we as Club Amritavarshini are proud to be practitioners and enthusiasts of this art form that has been viewed as a means for holistic well-being that is identified with the divine elixir or Amrita itself. Coming to the second word that you'll be seeing a lot of this weekend, Manoranjani. We just saw how music has a way to sustain the health of the body and the mind. And the technique that it uses to do this is by treating the mind in order to sustain a healthy body. Music itself doesn't go and physically change the body, right? So the music that enters the ears has some effect on your mental space, which then reflects in your physical well-being. Modern medicine today is only catching up to upon this epiphany that the state of the mental well-being is what is reflected in a person's physical well-being. But this has been known for centuries and centuries in Ayurveda and in ancient practice among the Indians. And this is what we call manas in Sanskrit, what we call the mind in English, plays a major role in the maintenance of good physical health. And so the word Manoranjani, coming back to what we're seeing on the screen today, addresses this nature of music, of appealing to the mind, or manas, and Ranjaka or Ranjani just means that which appeals. So this word Manoranjani exactly is an encapsulation of the potency of music to appeal to the mind as a technique of ensuring physical and mental well-being and anti-aging as a consequence. So we've looked into what is Amritavarshini and Manoranjani. Finally, before I conclude my presidential address for today, I'd like to touch upon what we're going to be doing this weekend, which is celebrating Carnatic music in all its glory and wellness. What is Carnatic music? The art form is, this is Anglicization of the Sanskrit word Karnataka Sangeetam. Sangeetam just means good music, but the word Karnataka is very interesting. As I said, Karnataka has just gotten morphed into Carnatic by way of adaptation into the English language. But the word Karnataka, the late maestro Mangalampalli Balamurali Krishna Garu would define this word Karnataka as Karneshu Atati iti Karnataka. Karna means ear, and so Karneshu Atati iti Karnataka means music which pleases the ears is called Karnataka Sangeeta or Carnatic music. So the ears, after all, are just sensory organs that are receptacle for whatever we hear. But ultimately, if there is something to be pleased, that is nothing but the mind itself. So Carnatic music is that which pleases the ears, or more accurately, that which pleases the mind, which is what is Manoranjani, the music which pleases the mind, as a means to being Amritavarshini, the downpour of elixir which ensures life and longevity. So with that correlation, by establishing what is the significance of Karnataka Sangeetam or Carnatic music, which will be celebrating throughout the course of Manoranjani 24, organized by Amritavarshini, the Carnatic Music Club of NIT Trichy. I would once again like to thank all of you, our guests of honor, the artists, and everyone else who's joined us today out of the love of music for joining and making Manoranjani a grand success in the days to come. And I hope you have an entirely immersive experience because we have planned the entirety of this weekend to celebrate the different facets of Carnatic music, as the MC will soon be touching upon. So I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend immersed in the experience of Carnatic music. This is Abhishek Chandrasekhar, President of Amritavarshini for the academic year 2023-24, pronouncing the official commencement of Manoranjani 2024. Hope you all enjoyed the festival.
Thank you, Abhishek, for that insightful address. Lighting a lamp is a symbol of knowledge, wisdom, and hope. It represents the flame of learning that illuminates darkness of ignorance and lights the way for those who seek knowledge. That being said, I would like to invite our esteemed dignitaries, Dr. Karvembu, Dr. Raghavan, and Mr. Srinivasan, to come and light it. Thank you so much. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you our guest of honor for this evening, Dr. Karvengu, esteemed Dean of Student Welfare. Dr. Karvengu has been an integral part of our academic community, demonstrating unwavering dedication and passion towards nurturing the holistic development of our students. Dr. Karvengu has encouraged us and has shown profound interest and active involvement in all club activities on campus. His enthusiasm for fostering a vibrant extracurricular environment has significantly enriched the student experience, providing ample opportunities for growth, creativity, and collaboration. I now invite Sir to address the gathering on his auspicious occasion.
Very good evening, all of you. At the outset, I welcome the chief guest for today's inaugural program, Shri Srinivasan and his team members from Mridangam. Selvan Abhishek has nicely explained about this Amritavarshini club as well as about this annual event of the Amritavarshini club, Manoranjani. This is a 3-day event organized every year by our Amritavarshini club students. And today is the first day of this year's event, and we are going to witness the inaugural performance. I think I understand from them that it is a lecture come kind of a demonstration. I hope this performance will be going to motivate our students. And as again Mr. Abhishek explained, this kind of the music performances by the artists as well as by our own students, and we encourage more of our students to participate in this kind of activities and more of our students to witness these kind of programs. That would be very much useful for the mental and physical well-being of the students. So that is very, very important. So we, in addition to the academics, we also focus on these kind of activities, and I'm so happy that our Amritavarshini club students, they arrange many such programs in the campus, and also they do a lot of performance in the campus in our temple on different occasions. And very importantly, now every year they are performing in the Tyagaraja Aradhana at Tiruvayadu. That is a prestigious event. We are so happy that our students they perform in such a great event where the great artists are performing every year. So I appreciate the efforts taken by our students in organizing this function, and I think there are a few programs performed by our students, and it's again I'm glad that the alumni of Amritavarshini club, the previous students of this club, that's our NIT alumni, and a few of our alumni, they are going to perform tomorrow. That's again is really good, and I wish the students all success, right? And one request is that we have to motivate more students to attend this kind of programs. So we have about 8,000 students as well as residents in the campus. Somehow we have to find a way to popularize this kind of programs among the students and residents. Right? We wish you all success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words, and your encouragement keeps on motivating us to conduct more events and popularize Carnatic music as a whole. Manoranjani this year is a 3-day extravaganza aimed at enlightening the audience about 3 major pillars of Carnatic music, which is percussion, vocal, and instrumental music. Each day of the fest is dedicated to showcasing one of these elements with a lineup of captivating artists. Today's session features an enthralling lectern by Mr. R Srinivasan, a prolific percussion artist who will enlighten and demonstrate the audience about Upapakkavaadhyam, the finer aspects of percussive art. Tomorrow we have two vocal concerts, the Pancharatna Seva in the morning, where club members will render the renowned Pancharatna Kirtanas of the legendary composer Sri Tyagaraja Swami, followed by an evening performance by Amritavarshini's alumni, Mr. Vatsan and Mr. Shrikant, treating us to a mesmerizing vocal concert. On Sunday, we have the one and only Akare sisters, a famous violin duo who will deliver a captivating lectern dwelling deep into the intricacies of the road towards perfection in the morning. Later in the evening, prepare to be spellbound as they mesmerize us in an instrumental concert that promises nothing short of magical. It is now time for the most anticipated event of the evening. I am excited to announce to everybody the artists for today, Mr. R Srinivasan, Mr. Haripriya Srinivasan, and Shripriya. Mr. Srinivasan is a disciple of Sri Vidwan R Srinivasan. Hailing from the musical family of Ramanarapuram Sri Puchi Srinivasa Iyengar, he was initiated into vocal and flute by his mother and guru Srimati B. Padmaswami at the tender age. Srinivasan is an accomplished Carnatic flautist. He is a full-time IT professional working in Dell Technologies as an evangelist, field CTO Global Alliances. Srinivasan started performing Carnatic concerts from the age of 16 and has traveled across India and abroad since then. He regularly performs in live Vinyasan concerts with his guru Sri D. Rajagopal and his daughter Haripriya Srinivasan, and has accompanied leading Carnatic musicians. Some notable events he participated as Upapakkavaadhyam, Morsing Artists Art, the Kalai Vaivavam in Singapore, the Esplanade Kala Utsavam in Singapore, Shantanjali Festival of Music and Dance in Singapore. Coming to Haripriya Srinivasan, she has been hailing from a musical family of Sri Puchi Srinivasa Iyengar, and she has been learning Mridangam from the age of 6 under Sri Trivandrum Sri D. Rajagopal at the Temple of Fine Arts, Singapore. Haripriya is currently under the tutelage of Kallakuruchi S. Shivakumar, disciple of Sangeeta Kalanini Palakkad Sridhar. She bagged the first prize for Mridangam in both junior and intermediate category in the National Arts Council Indian Music Competition in 2017 and 2020. Haripriya was one of the top 10 finalists of the ASEAN Talent Search event, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, in 2018, conducted by the High Commission of India, Singapore. She won the first prize in Mridangam, junior and sub-senior category in Papanashan Sivan's annual music competitions conducted by Shivan Arts consecutively in 2017 and 18. Haripriya is a regular performer and she has accompanied many upcoming artists and leading musicians in Singapore and India. I invite the artists to take the stage and enlighten us with the lectern on Upapakkavaadhyam, the finer aspects of percussive art.
You are audible. Sri Guru Namaskar. First of all, I want to thank Abhishek for inviting me, and also the chief guest of the day, giving me this opportunity to come and do a lecture demonstration on Upapakkavaadhyam. Hello. Hello. All of you can hear well. So, Abhishek has already given a very, in fact, it's not a brief introduction, rather I would say he has already touched on the points, gave a very good introduction about the Carnatic music and what this music can do in everybody's life, right? I just wanted to add one point. Though the person who introduced me actually talked about my profile and he talked about my day job, which I am actually a field CTO, because I work on whatever the modern technologies, right? Like all of you guys, most of you are in NIT Trichy, you're all, and tomorrow probably you are somewhere in the technology area where you'll be excelling in this, whichever the technology area you are in, right? But whatever you do, all sudden then the music what you are actually practicing as a Carnatic music is really gives you beyond the knowledge. There is a word in Tamil called jnanam. In Sanskrit also they call it jnanam. We can say it is a knowledge, but it is not knowledge. Knowledge means there is knowledge about certain area, a specialization. So in English word, I'm not sure, maybe you all can find out. Is there an equivalent word which defines the jnanam perfectly, which is beyond the knowledge? Okay? That is something as an individual I have experienced by practicing this music. Okay? I'm not from NIT or IIT or even for that matter, not even an engineering graduate. But today in a technology world where I could excel and I could even reach to this position where actually I'm talking to people of CEOs, CTOs, all these level of people, I can really say to that level of knowledge, I gained it only through this music, by practicing this music. So in the outset, I just wanted to start off by saying that whatever the ways you are trying to practice this music, especially the Carnatic music, will give you that kind of jnanam. I don't want to call it as knowledge. You will experience it when you actually feel it. This can only be, you can only feel it, you cannot express it, you cannot, how do you say, you cannot share with someone. Right? Knowledge is shareable. Jnanam is not shareable. You can only experience that. With that said, there was a question about, you all know about the mathematician Srinivasan, right? So we all know. I don't know whether this piece of information I'm going to share which you know. When he went to London and he did his doctorate and everybody was wondering where did he get this kind of knowledge, especially without even going to school, without even going to a university. He is able to bring out the theorems which nobody even thought of. Where did he get this amount of knowledge and where did he get this kind of ideas? Someone went and asked him, who is giving you all this? Or where did you learn? Which book do you read? The answer he gave, saying that I actually pray to the Namaripete Thaya, which is the deity of Mahalakshmi in Namakkal. So he is an ardent devotee of Namaripete, and he is from that place, right? He is born and brought up in Namakkal and then Namaripete. And then the second thing he said, I play Mridangam, the percussive art, right? So when I play Mridangam, I get something in my mind, the idea of all these mathematical solutions and theorems. And whenever he plays Mridangam, he says that I get this idea, immediately I go and write down on a piece of paper, or sometimes with the chalk he just write down on the floor or in the wall, wherever he gets opportunity to document it. So the point I try to make here is, the world-renowned mathematician has said that jnanam, the wealth of knowledge, he gets it by playing a mridangam. There's an instrument, the percussive instrument which is there. So that is the power of our Carnatic music. So this can only be realized by practicing ourselves. If someone if I'm telling you just because I'm telling you, you don't have to believe. You will believe one day when you practice it at some point, as I personally believe. I'm not like a mathematician of Srinivasan Ramanujam, though I carry his half name, but I'm not like Srinivasan Ramanujam. But I have not achieved a lot, but at least to some level where nowhere a boy who was just brought up in a small town in Madurai where I just studied in a local school, were not even exposed to any kind of computers those days. Now I could end up in the companies, and I've been with 18 years, I've been with all the famous MNCs I've worked for, and I've roamed around the world. I've been presenting white papers, documents, and knowledge sharing events, talking to this. That I can only experience, like the very word what Srinivasan Ramanujam said, I can very well vouch that yes, that I also could, to a drop of it, I have the essence of that from the music I heard. And that is what I'm going to share it with you today. Sorry, I took a little bit time in expressing this, but just wanted to start off saying that whatever you are doing, Manoranjani, by way of doing this, this will help you in your careers as well. Okay? Thank you. So today's topic is being given to me to talk about a percussive art. Okay, again, Abhishek talked about 3 days event, and the first day being given to percussion. Again, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you chose percussion on the day one. Okay, because percussion is something, again, as I said, is the only that is the art which basically linked to the science. Okay. Of course, I'm not saying that the other singing or instrumentals are not linked to art, but of course, that gives peace of mind. But this imbues your brain. So the example what I said about Srinivasan Ramanujam, right? So the percussive art is something which is linked to the mathematics, which is also linked to the science. So the more you practice, you can relate to what you all study in your mathematical theorems on a daily day out. All those things, right? So starting with, again, if I talk about percussion, when he actually gave me one level below, saying that percussion means it's in the, it's part of the music, but Upapakkavaadhyam. So there are certain instruments called Upapakkavaadhyam. Upapakkavaadhyam, Upa means it is a sub, right? It is not me. That is why I'm sitting, though I'm going to be the one delivering the things, I have to respect to the word and I have to respect the instrument which I handle. So I'm sitting in the side. I let the main people sit in the front. Okay. So by the way, I introduced. They've introduced both my daughters. Haripriya is my elder daughter who plays Mridangam, the percussive instrument. So in the percussive art, the Mridangam is the lead instrument, followed by the 3 other instruments called Upapakkavaadhyam, which I'll explain in detail. Right. So in all these things, without a main, you can't have a sub, right? So main is the vocal. So that's where I got it. So first I was thinking just only 2 of us to talk about rhythm, but you cannot relate what I'm talking about. If I just go on talking about in the syllables, which only few of you or those who have practiced the Mridangam can understand, but not all of you can appreciate. Then I thought, when I explain, better someone in the main who sings actually has how it will be in the normal Carnatic ensemble. So it will be good for you to relate and understand it. That's why I brought her. So she is Haripriya, my second daughter, who is basically in the 10th standard, and both of them be practicing music. She is going to help me with the songs. Sometimes, I mean, whenever we are actually have to say how the percussive instrument will be, used in the concert pattern. So for that demonstration purpose, I asked her to assist me in singing, right? So without any further delay, I'll just start with, as a testimony, we thought of starting the play. Anyway, she played a beautiful prayer song. But to start, how the percussion instruments in the concert, I don't know, how we actually start off the concert. Just to show that, I will start with it's a prayer song which is normally sung at the beginning of the Carnatic concert, right? She will be singing a song and we both will accompany her on a percussion. Then I'll continue on with the next one. So, before we start talking about the Upapakkavaadhyams, the topic of the day, I just want to touch on certain points of Carnatic music, the very basics. I do not know how many of you are really practicing Carnatic music, how many of them, I know a couple of them are well versed, but not sure all of you are well versed or not well versed. So I thought maybe I'll just start off with a few pointers to touch. Then we talk more in detail about the Upapakkavaadhyams, right? So music, in a whole, any music, any form of music has two forms. Right? One is the melody, the other one is the rhythm. So that's exactly what in Carnatic music also. In Carnatic music, we call it as Shruti Mata Layam Pita. Shruti is basically, that's what you hear from a drone just sitting out there, just giving a sound which is constantly producing a sound, and that is a reference point. So that is the Shruti. So that is called Shruti, which is, we call it as a Mata. So the melody singer, the main artist, in this case, she was the one who was singing, right? Her pitch is referencing to the Shruti. Similarly, the sub or accompanying artist, there is actually another melody accompanying. In the later stage, I will talk about how the Carnatic ensemble look like and various different instruments sit together. And for the demonstration purpose, we cannot bring all of them today, so I'm just expressing what we can do, right? So Layam, when we talk about Layam, and that is the topic which is Upapakkavaadhyam is basically from the Layam perspective. Okay? So Layam is the Pita, of course the father. So in order for a music which is a child, so you need to have Shruti and Layam together. So Mata, Pita has to be there, which produces the music, which is called Carnatic Sangeetam. So this is very well defined, and in fact, I can even go on and say maybe it is exaggerating, but it may be, but that is the truth as well. Only Indian Shastriya Sangeetam, what we call it as either Carnatic music which is practiced in the down south, or the Hindustani music which is in the north, both of these art forms are the one which actually gives more emphasis on this particular statement, Shruti Mata Layam. Okay? So Indian music in as a whole, we can say the classical music of Indian music. It doesn't mean that the other music forms don't have, but they don't give importance or they don't emphasize for this. But we give importance and emphasize this. The reason is because whether we like it or not, it is connected to the eternal forces. We even believe that the Om sound, which you can just even, is the Shruti box is then you can sit and just relax, even if you want to do a meditation. You get a Om sound and a constant sound which actually comes, it is coming from the eternal force. Like, some people are saying, even NASA is saying, are trying to figure out whether that sound is it coming from sun or moon or whatever it is. But you can actually, all these are connected towards. In the Sanatana Dharma, this is all being documented. It is all basically this particular form of music is actually derived from the Samaveda of the four Vedas, what you all know, right? So the Carnatic music basically came from a Samaveda. Samaveda, if someone who practice can see that some of the way even they recite their normal mantras actually resembles the Carnatic music. Okay. So they have importance from both the aspects, from the Shruti as well as from the Layam perspective. Okay? So that is where it is really important to understand the very basic thing of the Carnatic music is those two forms. So in today's topic we'll be focusing on only father. We'll be talking only about father. Okay? Mother will be taken care tomorrow and day after. So we'll talk only about father today. So Layam, I've already explained. Layam is basically, don't look at me, it may remind you the comedy or the joke from the movie The Three Idiots. Right? If somebody asks, can you define the machine, and the student gets up and gives some long statement, that's how it is. But in a very nutshell, I've already given. Layam means is nothing but a rhythm, which is actually metered so that we can measure it in different ways, actually, different forms. Okay. So Layam is nothing but a rhythm part of the music, especially in the Carnatic music, which actually has a structure and we can measure. Okay. And Tala, Layam, when we talk about Layam, is a complete structure. Within that, it comes another part called Talam. Okay. Talam is nothing but a beat with the regular interval and number of counts. Okay, so that is defined as Talam. Layam as a whole, as a father, means it's everything, anything, even the train. If you are going in and Indian trains, you can actually see all of these which we play. If you are practicing Mridangam or something, you can actually sit and play for that. Because when the train picks up the speed like 70, 80 kilometers, especially our South Indian, Southern Railways, if you long journey we go, it plays in a very good Krishna Nadai and Kanda Nadais of Mridangam. Actually, this goes in and we call it as the Kanda Nadai in the Mridangam. We also play that kind of Nadai in the Mridangam as well. So, Laya means any form of rhythm which actually is you are able to relate to the beat, right? But when it comes to talam, it is confined to a boundary with saying that okay, I can have only this number of beats, and that beat, each beat should have either 3 counts, 4 counts, 5 counts, 6 counts, or whatever it is. So it is meter. So that is the difference between lime and the. So some of the terminologies I just wanted to give you before even I start talking about the first few. What you see on the top is those are the instruments, the percussive instruments what we use it in. First one is the mridangam, what you see there. It is a double-sided drum, okay? And mridangam is a very ancient instrument, came from Indian origin actually. It is part of India. And if you have seen even in the temples, the Nandi Bhagavan, the Nandikeshwar, who is the basically the vehicle for Lord Shiva, okay? He is the exponent of Mridangam, okay? So he plays Mridangam, right? Then the second and the next 3 or 4 items are the today's topic, Upapakkavaadhyam, okay? So in the concert, Mridangam is the rhythmic, in the lead instrument is Mridangam. For the concert of any Carnatic ensemble, you see Mridangam will be the lead for rhythm section, okay? And rest 3 are the Upapakkavaadhyams. We actually follow the rhythm. So whoever is playing on the Mridangam, the Upapakkavaadhyam artist like me will be following him, okay? That is why if you have noticed when she started singing, first she started playing Mridangam. I did not play. I had to wait because she set the rhythm. She just get aligned with the main artist rhythm first. She start to play. Then after some period, once she set the rhythm pace, she has already set, and then I go and join. That is the role of Upapakkavaadhyam. It is not just the morsing player. The remaining 3, Ghatam, Ganjira, and the morsing, all 3 will be doing that part. Okay. And there are other items which are like the Tala, which I have already explained, Laya also explained. Avartanam is nothing but in the Tala, the meter I said, right? 1 avartanam means how many counts of beats you will be having within the particular stipulated period of Tala, right? That is avartanam, that is basically a meter, you can say. A simple example, those who know music, Carnatic music, if I say Adi Tala means it is an 8-beat count. If I say different Rupaka Talam, 6 beats. So similarly, there are different avartanams you can say. Right? Then we also have Sollukattu. Sollukattus are nothing but syllables. What we basically use in the Mridangam or any other percussive instruments. Like for example, in Mridangam, while somebody is singing, they use this basics of playing or singing the Carnatic music is the raga, which is nothing but based on the melody part or the saptaswarams, the 7 notes, Sari, Gama, Pada, Nisa. This is from there you can actually derive this. Similarly, for the Mridangams, we cannot play Sari, Gama, Pada, Nisa in the percussion instruments. That's a different syllable called Tati, Tomdam, or Tata, Titi, Domdam, Nam. So something like of these kind of syllables, like I just recited about the train going on, right? Taka, 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 taka. So the way you recite the syllables, what is played on the Mridangam or any other percussive instrument is called the Sollukattu. Okay. Then the next is the Mora, Korvai. These are some patterns. Mora, Korvai, these are the patterns played on the Mridangam during their solo performance, which is called Taniyavartanam, which usually happens at the middle of the concert. During the course of their Taniyavardhanam, they will be playing certain few rounds. We will explain that in detail how the Taniyavardhanam goes on in later stage. But Mora, Korva is all being used there. Okay. Then finally, the Tirman, either the Korva or the Tirman. There are different names. We can use it. Okay. Talked about the way the Carnatic example looks. The reason I put up this particular slide is to show the way we have to sit. Okay, there are a lot of controversies going on. I'm not getting into any of the controversies. How to sit, where to sit, I'm not getting into that debate. The main reason for me to put up this is to show this is how it has been practiced. From the last few hundred years, this is how it has been practiced. There is a reason for sitting like this particular seating arrangement, right? So you can see the left is, as you all know, the Bharata M.S. Subbulakshmi's photo. But there is no relation of M.S. Subbulakshmi with this lecture demonstration. The reason I put up this is to showcase how the main artist, the singer will be either the singer or any melody instrument who is the lead singer will be on the center stage. Followed by violin. Violin actually is not an Indian instrument as we all know, but we adopted in late 17th century as an accompaniment for melody. And we started using violin as a lead accompaniment for vocal since 17th century. So violin sits right next to on the left side of the instrument, main artist. On the right side will be the Mridangam. Further, there are sometimes it might change because if the Mridangam player is left, there is no choice that they have to change the positions, but it's fine. At the end of the day, the main artist sit in the front. He can say both the leads because the violinist help them with the support on the melody part. Mridangam is helping the main artist with the percussion, the main rhythm. As I said, both father and mother is required. Then only the main artist can produce the child very well. Okay? If they sit next to her or behind her, I don't know what kind of child will be produced. Okay, so we should be aware of that, right? So that is very important. That the thing is, you need both of their support very well, and the lead instrument sitting. Then the Upapakkavaadhyam comes in. Upapakkavaadhyam, the word itself, sometimes people say, why you call Upapakkavaadhyam? We are Pakkavaadhyams, accompanist. Don't say Upapakkavaadhyam. Why you have to say sub? We are not sub, we are also equal. Again, I'm not being very secular here or anything, but the word Upapakkavaadhyam is again derived from the music, the Shastra itself says. The reason is because it's an optional. One can have a performance of Carnatic music without even having a Upapakkavaadhyam. What is important for them is definitely a violin support. Prior to violin, it was a veena or even harmonium, and a later part of it. It was earlier veena. Right? It is all. There has to be a melody accompaniment. There has to be rhythmic accompaniment. Those two are important. And then later comes in. So in the picture, you can see there are two Upapakkavaadhyams accompanied on that one. On the right side, next to the Mridangam, is the instrument called Ganjira, and this looks like this. Right? So this is a Ganjira. I'll talk about this instrument later. On the left side, you can see next to that, it is a Grammy Award winner, T.H. Vinayagaram, who is on the guitar. So he actually brought this instrument. It is a clay pot. He brought this instrument worldwide, and today everybody all over the world knows T.H. Vinayagaram only because of this person, T.H. Vinayagaram. And this whole setup, this picture, they played in the United Nations in 1960s. Okay, so that was a picture of that. Okay. So now this picture just to show where the placement of Upapakkavaadhyam. Okay, so that is the main reason for me. So and that picture, it was not complete Upapakkavaadhyam. In predominantly there are three Upapakkavaadhyams. One is Ghatam, which is the clay part. The other one is the Ganjira. The third one, the one which I now played, the Morsi. Right? In the other picture is where you see there is Upapakkavaadhyam, the other two are missing, but they have a Morsi. Right? So as I said, it's an optional. Which Upapakkavaadhyam to choose, it is up to the artist, the main artist. Main artist meaning it is not just the vocalist is also part of the Mridangist also, right? The decision of making which Upapakkavaadhyam I should choose is all depends on both the main artists. Right? So as I explained, these are the rhythmic instruments. The top Mridangam, on the right side is the clay part, which is the Ghattam, and the center is called Kanjira, and the last one is Mosi. Let's talk individually each instruments first, okay? See, don't get, we will be playing something, but before that I just want to set the stage. So don't worry that I'm only talking, I'm not doing anything with the instrument. I will go on little later. Right? So the first instrument is about Kanjira. So this is the Kanjira what you see, right? So this is a single-sided frame as you can see. And it is a pure invention of Indian, that too a Tamil origin, that too very near to Trichy is Pudukkottai. Okay, the person who invented is called Mamundiya Pillai. That name is given here. So Mamundiya Pillai, a very interesting story. Is a person who was actually working in a Jamindar's palace those days, 200, almost like in late 18th century. And he was a person who used to carry the lamp when the Jamindar goes out or something. So he was basically, that was his job in the palace. But he was so interested in music, and especially in those days, there were only rhythmic instruments, means only two instruments. You know, Nadaswaram with Tawal, that is our Tamil Nadu's origin of instrument. Then the other one is the Mridangam. Okay, so he wanted to learn Tawal. So he went and learned Tawal. At some point, he was so interested in learning Mridangam, intricacies of Mridangam, so he went and learned Mridangam. And later, he was thinking, why should I just, and certain parts of the Solukat is what he developed. He thought it would be opt to play it on a single-sided frame, the drum. So then he thought, how do I do? So then he started doing some research, and he created some single-sided frame drum. He used some different kind of schemes. Finally, he made a jackwood wood as a frame. Then he used the the monitor lizard. Again, I cannot say the word because it is restricted or prohibited to use the skin of monitor lizard. Okay, if somebody sees with me, that they can take me to the court. So, but this instrument is using a monitor lizard skin. Okay, so the reason is because that stiffness or the kind of tone he could get was only from the monitor lizard. So he used a jackwood frame, and then he used the monitor lizard skin to come up with the instrument. And he put, just he thought this instrument finally still was not complete. Then he added, just for a bell sound or something, he just added a small, those days you call it as water kalana. So, you know, that coin of the British India time, the 25 paise or 10 paise was in the center, there is a hole, right? So that the coin was from the copper, made up of copper. So he used that, but nowadays you don't get that, so people start using different symbols to get this kind of a chill sound. So this is how Kanjira was invented by him. And now later on people started using it, and he himself taught many students, and today this instrument has been mastered by many of them, and this is also again used widely all over the world by today's legendary Vidwan songs. So again, Ghattam. Ghattam is actually origin we can see not only in Tamil Nadu, we can also see all over India. People use this instrument, Ghattam. So in the Ghattam, but it's mainly manufactured in South Indian Ghattam. What we are using in the concert form is today is actually manufactured in Manoranjani. Okay, and Manoranjani Ghattams are known for their tonal qualities. People use it only for that tonal quality is better. Though people have started making Ghattams in various different parts, including Chennai, Bangalore, and all. But the sand or the core element, which is actually they call it as semen, right? So that what they get it from that particular area is actually gives a very good tonal sound. So T.H. Vinayakaran used to, say a very, he is, of course, is vegetarian, but his instrument is not vegetarian. He said that I'm a vegetarian, my instrument is not vegetarian because it uses, when they have to mix some egg and other form of egg shells and things like that to come to get the tonal tone. So he always says that, I'm a vegetarian, but my instrument is not actually. So similarly, all of their percussion instrument except the morsing is actually using some kind of animal, either the skin or the egg or something. So gatams are, so as we said, there are different names. In South India, it is mainly used in folk as well. In today's world, cine music, many of the artists use gatam, right? Many songs, even today, A.R. Rahman or many other renowned musicians, music composers use this as a main state. No other percussive instruments, only with vocal and the gatam is used actually. And predominantly this is also used in a folk music as called as Geta Singari, but that is now not in use anymore. Geta Singari was earlier. The same thing, the clay pot, but on the top, the mouth, we call it as mouth on the top, right? Instead of using their hands, what they call it as like, it is something like your table tennis bat. Yeah. They use that, when they use that, they get the bass tone from the mouth, is it boom, boom. So that kind of sound they get it, and that is very useful when they play in folk music. So that's how Gatam and alias Geta Sinkari, they call it as Geta Sinkari, but we lost that instrument. That form of music is no longer practiced by many people. Our Indian, South Indian folk music, especially when we talk about Villupattu, I don't know how many of you know Villupattu, right? So in Villupattu today, still they use. Even Villupattu itself is actually, not many people are there in today's world, right? But still, Villupattu they use the Geta Singari. Okay? That is the Getam. Then comes to my instrument, the favorite instrument, which is Mosi. Okay? Luckily, I choose an instrument which is easily carryable. I always joke with my daughter saying that why you choose this instrument which is very difficult to carry, especially she has to go on an accompaniment with the two different pitches, she has to carry 2-3 mridangams, and we need someone to carry that mridangam also. I said this is very simple, easy to carry, put it on your pocket and go. And this morsing is basically, again, origin of this, as I explained, the origin of Ganjra and origin of Gatapino, it is mostly from India. But this instrument, very interestingly, this is also used in European countries. But we do not know whether Europeans started using from India or we actually taken the instrument from them. We do not know. But in simple words, in India, this instrument is used in various different states. In different names, right? Especially if you in Tamil Nadu we call it as Morsing. In Karnataka they call it as Mohasing. In Telugu they call it as in a different name, right? The same thing if you go to North India, especially Punjab or even some part of Assam, all these places also they use the same instrument but within the different names. And this in Tamil, in Tugla Tamil, if you have to say, in purest form, is called as Muga Sangu. The reason is because this resembles like the Sangu, what we call it as actually. So this instrument is also resembles like a shoe horse, if you can see here. And the half body of it is like a shoe horse. And there is one single string attached to it on the center, and that is the one which actually produces sound, right? Again, this instrument also has very relevance to the science because when you keep this instrument and try to play it, unlike the other two or three, you can get the sound. I hit this, you get the sound, right? Mridangam also the same. You hit, you get the sound. Then Gatam also the same, right? But this instrument, when you keep it outside and you hit it, you don't get the sound. But when you keep it on your mouth and hold it between your teeth, Various different possible sounds you can produce, but you can only get it. So this is a very simple science. I think you guys know very well than me. It's nothing but it's part of your physics. So I'm not very versed in physics, so I'm not going to explain in physics. But if you keep it on the mouth, you are creating an air drum in your mouth. And you get the sound only if you keep it here and open your mouth so that you create a vacuum space there and try to suck air through that. Okay, so that when I say I hold it between my teeth and try to suck air through this. Okay. The other aspect of it, if I hold it and then try to hit the string on the center. So this where it is different. The syllables what we use in Mridangam, we try to simulate here. Okay. So these are the various different instruments, and we also have a part of Shruti here. Okay. So as I said, the Shruti lion, Shruti is also a Shruti mother. So we cannot ignore Shruti at all, even in percussive instruments. Okay. So the Mridangam has to be tuned to the Shruti in which the main singer is singing. So in this case now we set into a pitch, it's called G, is a reference. And she was singing in a pitch G. So as the Mridangam was tuned to G. So this instrument is also tuned to G. Right? This is not tunable, but it is fixed. Each morsing is tuned or fixed. When they make itself, it can be fixed to either of any one of the pitch. So I have a box full of morsing, which means if somebody calls me for a program saying that, boss, can you come and accompany me? The very first question I'll ask you, are you going to be the main singer? What is your pitch? Okay, rest of the terms and conditions we'll talk later. First we'll ask what is your pitch. Right? So first things to understand, so that I have to carry a morsing tuned to that particular pitch. And again, the nature of this instrument, sometimes one instrument cannot be 100% fine tuned to this. That's why I have to have 2 or 3 tuned to the same pitch. Sometimes you see here, you see the tonal difference. So when different pitch will have different tonal sound, and it is matching to the Shruti box actually. So there is one more. See, these two are the same pitch G, but you can see the difference. Now the other one I showed was a different pitch, but here, see, this one is not 100% aligned. If you hear that reference, the Shruti box, and this tone, it is not 100% aligned. The Shruti box is producing the sound, the reference sound is called sa. But here, it is, but you know, if you look at it very minutely, it is not 100%. But the other instrument, if I have, this is two. It's not again not 100% perfect, I would say, but 99%, at least 99 point something, it is closer to that. So you can make out the difference. So, right? So these instruments, again, the Mridangam is tunable, Ghatam is not tunable, fixed like this. When they make it, the Ghatam, the size of the Ghatam denotes the tonal quality. Okay? If it is lower tone, you see the clay part is in bigger size. If the size, the tonal increases, the sound increases, the pitch increases, the size of the ghatam will come down. So this is how the ghatam and Ganjira. And Ganjira has no pitch. So of all these Upapakkavaadhyams, Ganjira artists don't have to worry about the pitch. He can only straight away talk about the terms and conditions of the concept when he was called. Right? He will say, because he will bring 3-4 Ganjiras, he'll just put a splash of water on it. So currently this is in a very high tone. Basically the Ganjira actually supports the bass tone actually. If she can play, on the Mridangam you have two sides, right? And the front side gives you a sharp tone which is aligned to the Shruti box. The bass is actually not 100% aligned to the Shruti, but it gives a bass support. So when the Ganjira artist plays, he tried to match the Ganjira sound to the bass, which means there is no particular Shruti. It need not to be matching the actual Shruti, but it has to give a bass tone. So usually what they do is they just splash water on it. As I said, it is a monitor lizard skin, right? You know, monitor lizards are known for, like, when it catches something, it is it is like it can catch, it holds like anything. Same way the skin is also very stiff when we start. That's when, so the more you splash water, it will bring down the value and it comes down to the bass tone. So there are different techniques to bring down so that you reduce the stiffness of the skin, so it comes down to the bass. So it comes down to this form, right? Then people can use this on a concert. Okay. So this is all about the instruments. I have already explained the part of most playing techniques, but with rest of the instruments, when we talk about ghatam and Ganjira, there is actually in the later part when I talk about the demonstration part, actually I asked this question, but I am bringing it earlier. The reason is because it is apt to talk about this now. One, how do you choose a percussive instrument, especially the Upapakkavaadhyam? Because I said it is an optional. Carnatic example, need not to have any Upapakkavaadhyam. They can just go with just a violin and Mridangam, okay, and it is fine. But if you choose a Upapakkavaadhyam, what criteria you choose? And based on what that will be used? Anyone, I think some of you are already musicians, you are singing and you know very well. Anyone knows or any reason? There is no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear your perspective. Any of you? If you are going for a concert and you have option to choose a Upapakkavaadhyam, which one to choose and what basis you choose?
Based on the total quality of the artist, Kachira has got easier, music is higher. So according to the artist, you choose the.
That is right. That is one point. One aspect of it is based on the tonal quality. If it is a singer, main singer is actually a lady, she tend to choose it is in a high pitch. Okay. In that quality, rather than the bass, the more sing or ghatam will be opt. That is because it gives the matching tonal quality. Say for example, in Sa part. When she sings Sa, which is matching to the pitch, I am able to. So what happens is, these instruments give a bit of support in terms of Shruti as well. Especially the Morsing, right? Morsing gives very good support with the Shruti. So, people do say, especially the renowned musicians say, especially to become a Morsing artist is very difficult. One is that the instrument is difficult. The only easy thing in this is the instrument is easy to carry. That is the only advantage. Other than that, playing this is the toughest part. Okay. Second is, this instrument actually, if it is not tuned, okay, easy to identify, especially those who, you don't have to be a qualified musician to understand this. Easily people can understand, hey, something is playing which is not matching. So he can, someone just like that can easily identify. Okay. So I just to demonstrate what I am talking about. You just say. See, you see the difference? I am actually playing in a motion which is not tuned to her Suddhi. And I cannot tune this also. Okay? So that's why I said very important. I have to first ask the question, who is singing, in what pitch he is singing. I have to take the instrument right accordingly. So this will be very different. Same way Ghatam also. For them it is even more difficult. You imagine an artist who are, if you, especially the Ghatam artist traveling abroad and he has been booked by various different artists, he has to carry, he cannot carry anything for his luggage, he can only book his Ghatam. 5 to 10 Ghatams he has to take. And sometimes I know the cases where people carry the Ghatam, even with the fiber case, especially if they are traveling abroad, by the time they open the box, Ghatams or clay pots are all in pieces. He can't go and fix it also. So those are the practical difficulties for the Ghatam artist. Ganjira artist is somewhat better. They don't have to worry about Suddhi, they don't have to worry about the other aspect of it. Carrying it is also not difficult compared to the other two instruments. Right? So putting all these perspectives, that's why I say there is no right or wrong answer. People going abroad prefer, I better choose a Ganjira artist or the Mridangam artist rather than the Ghatam. The reason is because there are cases happen, people travel all the way to US, call the Ghatam artist, poor guy, you carried in a fiber case. Even the fiber case came in pieces, and he came down and he reached the US, but his instrument didn't reach US. So no point of bringing that kind of instrument. But in today's world, it is all these things with thanks to the technology, the modern. There are ways you can do it, and you can even now they are coming out with innovative ideas to carry this in a better way, actually, right? So there are two reasons. There are two ways or the perspective why the Upapakkavaadhyam or how the Upapakkavaadhyam is chosen. One is based on the tonal quality. If the singer is mainly a male singer, his obvious choice would be to go for a Ganjira because he'll get a bass support.